All right, so now we're back on the famous photos from the winning entries of the World Prize photos of 2026. So again, there were 3,747 photographers, and out of the 3,747 photographers, only 42 photographers made it to the final round, and 2 out of 42 are actually Filipino photographers, and they submitted outstanding photography with layered with deep meanings, and it doesn't just only depict what's on the scene na nakikita mo sa frame. But before we look into that, there were again 57,376 images that were submitted because they can submit multiple photos in different categories to pick and different set of photos for that. So one of which under the Asia Pacific and Oceania regions, I'm just screen recording my screen so you will see. This one is an image from a Filipino photographer who actually one of the 7 winners under the Asia Pacific region, Aaron Favila. I will go back to the title later, but let's examine the image. So kasi, this image actually gained its recognition. Yung una kong tinitingnan is I was staring at the photo for quite a while, examine the elements within the frame. They are professional photographers and they have high-end cameras, of course, for this prestigious photography. This is world class. So, syempre, yung alignment and technical skills nila sa pagkuha ng mga larawan, nandun na yun. So, they are not first-timers. So, when you look at this image closer, what you can see here is an image of a bride wearing a wedding gown. Maganda yung pagkakakuha, yung lighting niya, at maganda na nakatalipod yung bride because she was placed at the center. So, that's our subject. Nasa bupana siya. Malaking kapi, malaking simbahan. Famous church, which is Bursary Church. Pero kapag tinignan mo mabuti, nasa baha siya. Lubog sa baha yung paa niya at yung belo niya. But we can see na itinuloy or natuloy yung kasal. So these are not stage photography. These are press photography. So meaning it happened in real life, real time. So the photographer captured this with a perfect timing. Maganda yung pagkaka-frame ng subject niya. And like what I've said, out of those entries na nakita ko naka-post dito sa page ng WordPress photos, most of them are actually victims of war or scenes sa mga war, injustice, human crisis, social issues, disasters, ano po were ng mga entries na submitted sa kanilang site. What I have here, when I look at this photograph, and if I zoom it in, yung una kong alala is some flood control projects. This is the underlying messages na sabi ko that our country, for foreign nationals, you haven't live the life here in the Philippines you are experiencing. We have tropical, we always experience rain and floods, especially sa mga low-lying areas. So, pag tinignan mo to, then you will look next to the title is Wedding in the Flood. Saan ba to nangyari? Since this is press photography, there's stories behind. So, meron siyang inilagay dito na highlight ng kanyang story. And this when the typhoon Rika hit the Philippines in July 2025. Pero bago mo basahin yung kento, since alam natin this shot was from Malolos, Bulacan, Bursary Church in Malolos, Bulacan. So what came to me first, again, as I mentioned earlier, ang flood control project. So para sa mga foreign people on the global stage, they will look at this image as a symbol of Filipino being resilient in times of disaster. So, hindi lang yung kasalangan yung natutuloy kapag kahit na ba may bagyo or baha sa isang lugar or in the middle of the crisis situation. There could be someone celebrating their birthday na lubog sa baha. There are students who may be wearing their school uniforms going to their school na nakalubog sa baha. Alam naman yun, this is documentary photos. So, yung lugar ng Bulacan is Bahrains because it's one of the low-lying areas geographically. Yung maganda yung lugar kasi it's only a few meters above the sea level. I went there in the year 2010. So, nagpunta ako doon para maghanap ng trabaho as a teacher sa Friday school sa Heritage. So, that was in 2010 sa May Kawayan, Bulacan. So, I look for apartment or room for rent na malapit sa school. There's one studio type na maluwang and marami lang or mura lang yung rent, 3,000. Pero paglabas mo ng apartment, makikita mo may ilog sa labas. And I asked the locals, mga residente doon sa Heritage mismo, na may gawain Bulacan, na ayun palang may-ari ng apartment, umalis na doon because one time na nagbagyong Uldoy and na-wash out ang mga gamit niya kasi umakyat yung tubig, tumaas yung tubig. So, it's not a good or ideal place to live in. So, that's the reality. So, yung mga residente doon, matagal nang nagtitiis sa baha. They cannot leave the place dahil yung hanap buhay nila ay nasa lugar nila. Simbahan na sila kumunda o kung sila nagkaanap din sila lumaki. So, halos lahat ng mga mag-anak nila nandun na. But the issues we're having in our country about the flood control anomalies and alleged perpetrators, the corrupt officials, and people involved in this flood control anomalies na hindi pa natatapos sa mga isang year. So when this photo gained a recognition on the global stage ng World Press Photos, what came to me first is the issue of flood control. So we are still dealing with it right now. We're still watching the news, the hearing on the Senate na hindi pa nakikilala ang pangkalahatang mga naging sangkot sa anomalya ng mga flood control projects. Kung sana matibay yung mga flood control projects na ginawa doon sa Bulacan, hindi ginhawa sa mga residente. So, aside from the location ng Bulacan na bahay, talaga yung pangkaraniwang ulan lang would cause these floods. Yung tubig na galing sa river mula Luzon, bumababa sa mga residential areas bago pa man ito pumunta ng Manila Bay. So kahit pa wala pang bagyo, normal lang na ulan, babaha at babaha sa kanilang yurts because of their location. So marami ding mga na-report na sa mga news channels na yung mga drainage system ay puno ng mga plastic, puno ng mga basura. They were all clogged. Parang ang daming problema sa mga drainage system. So, imbis na makadaan yung tubig, hindi na makadalo yung tubig sa mga drainage system. At wala ring Coal River Basin coordination. At yung paggawa ng flood control projects nila is parang fragmented by towns or by barangays. So, hindi naging solusyon yung mga lastalo at ang limala. This one, I like the mindset. I like how Aaron Favila thinks because this image that he submitted that made him actually won the global stage, it doesn't only show resilience of Filipinos or fellow Filipinos in times of disaster and crisis or calamities like this, but it also reveals a hidden truth of the ongoing issue that we're having in our country for the ongoing debates about this flood control anomalies. I hope na makaabot sa mga may kakayahang baguhin ng sistema at mabigyan ng tamang solusyon. So, I hope na mabigyan ng mga solusyon para sa mga residente ng Bulacan. So, you know what, it's really not an ideal place to stay. Hindi naman kasi predictable yung panahon. Dapat madalas sumuulan and hindi rin safe yung lugar. So, whatever you earn there as a worker or as an employee, hindi yun naging sapat for you to cover all the damages that it will bring to you once na maranasan mo mga this is just one of the many problems that they encounter, especially during crisis, at mas lalo pang lumalala. So what I was saying is, for the international people, this may be a symbol, a powerful symbol of human endurance, but for us Filipinos, this one echoes the reality of flooding issue as unresolved case here in our country, affecting the lives of our fellow Filipinos living there. So it's not just about a human story, it's a meaningful meaning, unveiling the hidden crisis or truth behind the situation that we're experiencing. So the bride and the groom may become the visual focal point here in the bride. Nakikita natin sa larawan that because she is surrounded by floodwater, the floodwater now acts as natural frame. So yung kung sa pelikula pa, yung baha becomes, so kung sa pelikula pa, yung baha becomes the antagonist here. That's one of the amazing photos that were submitted sa WordPress photos of 2026. So again, so I hope na makapagpagawa ng mga magaganda at maayos na or matibay na flood control projects para matulungan yung mga resilient na nakakaranas ito matagal na. So hanggang sa ngayon. So they have been enduring it for such a long time their lives. Masosolution na. So we're just watching the news. Ulit-ulit na lang. So again, these are candid photos, documentary photos. These are not stage photos. So totoong event ito at nangyari sa real lives. This is, well, maybe what made Aaron Favila's photograph won the global stage. He also cited here yung mga highlights ng kanyang story because there must be a story because this is like a news headline. So nakalagay naman dito, when Typhoon Lifa hit the Philippines in July 2025, it submerged the historic Berswing Shores in Malolos, Bulacan province, under several feet of waters. Buo yung intento niya dito and ito siya. Wow, congratulations to him for making it to the WordPress photo regional winners this year, 2026. And now let's move on to the second photograph. This one, you will love this. Another photograph from Filipino, under the same region, of course. But before I'll give you the title, let's zoom in this photograph. So what you can see here, ang daming ganap sa photo ni Jez Asnar. Ang daming kalat. So if you watch closely, may mga taong nalalakad, may mga basura, may mga sirang sasakyan. You can see the doors open, so hindi na ginagamit. So we have people here walking, nakatakip ng ilong. So you can see there are smokes and trash everywhere. May mga nakasampay na mga damit sa mga bintana ng mga units. So there are a lot of people. Then you may be living here. May mga plastic containers na mga pagkain. So syempre this will suggest na marami nakatira dito, but they don't care about their environment. They don't care about their health. So pang may hindi magandang nangyayari. See, that's what we thought when first look at this photograph. It's just actually true. But there are a lot of underlying issues na nakapaloob sa image nito. So you heard the saying na a picture speaks 1,000 words. This one, maraming galaps. Merong tao dito nakapayo sa hagdan, nakamas. We don't know who they are. So we don't know what is happening yet. Ano ba to? Victim may kera pa dito. Merong natumbang post na may signage of Chinese language. So there might be Chinese people living here, or it can be the location where there are Chinese residents. So it can be a workplace. May mga damit pa. So may natutulog dito. O nakatira and with the volume of trash everywhere, so you can just say na marami there could be thousands of people living here. Now we'll look at to the title of this photograph, Scam Hub Under Siege, so by Jez Asnar. So this was located in Myanmar. That before ko pa naman nabasa yung kwento niya, of course there's always some stories detailing everything that is going on in the picture. So this was located in Shunda Park, over 3,500 workers from nearly 30 nations, including Russia, France, and Zimbabwe, spent their days role-playing as romantic interests or crypto investors to defraud victims. Under the picture, we have here stories. Nakalagay dito yung ano nangyayari sa image. So this was taken on November 21st, 2025. The Karen National Liberation Army, o KNLA, captured Shundapar, a nondescript office compound in Myanmar's Karen state, exposing massive and secretive cyber scamming operations. So this is in Shunda Park, Myanmar, with 3,500 workers from nearly 30 nations who are role-playing as romantic interests or crypto investors to defraud victims worldwide. So, sa title pa lang, Scam Hub Under Siege, malaman natin may hindi magandang nangyayari sa photograph. But when I look at this photo first, for the very first time, ang naisip ko is hidden crimes that we are still experiencing here in our country, especially around connecting yung mga AI, advancement in technology, ang dami-daming cases ng cyber crimes, identity theft, sama mo na din yung mga phishing, deepfakes, spam, scam, whether it's love scam, text scam, may mga crypto scam. So, most of their bases of their scam hub ay nasa labas ng bansa or offshore countries because they can operate without their government knowing it because it's located outside. So, they can link and have network here in the country. Pero yung base nila is nasa labas. This one, what makes caught my attention is yung recent issues that we're experiencing in our country other than the cybercrime case which continue to rise up. Yung POGO, pag-raid ng yung FOGO or Philippine Offshore online gaming sa Philippines wherein there were workers na they are being bitten para lang magtrabaho, mag-scam, mangloko, mamera ng kanilang maluloko sa online for the companies and di na sila nakapalabas. So, marami ang na-rescue but meron po rin nag-ooperate in some areas. So, yun, mahirap trace that the government are still praising it, still working on it. So, what really caught my attention is yung scam hub na kahit bagay itong picture ay hindi located dito sa Philippines or southern country, this one reveals a hidden fear that exists everywhere. So, there could be Filipinos working abroad na doon lang napunta sa scam hub wrong without knowing na doon papunta yung trabaho nila and they don't have a choice until such time na someone or there will be good Samaritan na kahingi ng tulong sa right agency to pull them out from that particular type of shop or nightmare. So this one really cool. Ang daming nangyayari, ang daming stories, kanya photos, and that made this photo one of the best photography of photo entries na nakita ko. But other than that, there is also another one from Southeast Asia. This was in Hong Kong. And what I really love about this photograph is because ang ganda ng pagkahapuan ng smoke. So, kung makikita mo, try to zoom it in. May konting na yung table. So, we have here subjects frame. Makikita mo, again, these images submitted to their site were candid photos kasi press photo nga ito eh. So, hindi to stage photography. So, you can see the image or the facial expression of the guy here asking or begging for urgency. It suggests na pagmamadali. So, we can see the fire, the units will burn. Buo yung building. At mataas pa naman, so, nakapalibot yung usok. Ang ganda ng pagkakakuha. And na upuhan niya yung smoke. But I believe when the photo was taken, this could be, hindi pa siya na rescue. Although there may be a first respondent kasi meron Ate, merong firefighter dito sa kas. At dito sa laki ng apoy, dalawa lang yung dalawa na yung hose na pinanggagalingan ng tubig. That's why that explains the facial expression of this guy here. It could be that they're asking for urgent response. So, ang ganda ng pagkaka-frame niya sa facial expressions. And this one by the title, The Desperate P by Tyron Sig, if I pronounce his last name correct. So we have here the stories. So we have here the stories, a story ng image, Mr. Wong, price out in ambush, Aspire engulfs the typo housing complex in Hong Kong that he calls home. Moments earlier, exchanged final words over the phone with his wife, who was among the 168 victims trapped inside. Now we understood, yung asawa ni Mr. Long ay nasa loob na trap sa ng building habang ito'y tutupok ng accord. So that's the reason why his expression showcased this one, asking for emergent response. So I will show you all the photographs for the World Fest photos, so feel free to take a look and how wonderful these images were captured for this event. So that's all. Thank you so much for listening with me. Have a great one.